Well, it's hard to sum up a person's life in just a few minutes or a few words. Um, my mother, Penny Stroud, never met a stranger. Um, it didn't matter where she was at. She could be at the gas station as a clerk, working at the phone company here in West Memphis, uh, whatever she was doing, real estate agent, all those jobs she had at one time. Met a lot of friends along the way. I'm sure everybody loved her. Still have people that I run into now that ask about her whenever she used to work at the Flash Market here in West Memphis. I think that was probably her favorite job. Anyways, it is saying that she was a talker is an understatement. She was definitely a talker. She could carry on a conversation way longer than you could, and you might not even get a word in edgewise. I guarantee you that she knew more, that you knew more about her than she knew about you when you got through talking to Penny. Growing up as a little boy, I remember being over on the east side of town, 2, 3, 4 years old, living in Fountainhead Apartments, and then moving in with my grandparents on Sewell Lane, and lived with them for quite a while. I had a fun childhood there, made a lot of friends. When she and Dickie got married, I was 8 years old. We bought a house next door, right next door to my grandparents, and they fixed it up. And we lived there for 2 or 3 years, and then moved over to Westwood Acres, where I made a lot more friends over there. And every single friend that I ever had was always a friend of my mom's. They became a friend of my mother's. She loved all my friends. She's probably the coolest mom growing up of all the kids. She probably let us do more things than anybody else's parents ever thought about. That's why she was so cool. Uh, she was a den mother to me whenever I was a Cub Scout. She was always involved in my baseball teams, football teams. Coaches depended on her to keep things organized in the stands and scorekeeper, that kind of thing, as well as Dickie. Dickie was always a coach, football coach or baseball coach. So throughout high school, um, every single buddy of mine, they loved coming over to the house and just hanging out over there mostly because of her. Uh, Even girls that I dated in junior high and high school, they loved my mom too because she was so cool with them. Just a cool mother. She was a great cook. I always remember coming home from school and the house would just be filled with just smelling wonderful from whatever she was cooking, whether it be uh, stuffed bell peppers to pork chops, which nobody cooks pork chops like my mother did. She learned all that from my grandparents, by the way, her mom and dad, Gom and granddad. Um, After high school, she just encouraged me to be the best that I could, be productive. She was behind me 100% whenever I was going to college, and whenever I finally got a job with FedEx, she was proud of me for doing that. Started my own business in '95. She was very proud of me for that and encouraged me along the way. She was a huge cheerleader for me, just like Larry was, and just like Dickie still is. Been very blessed to have these three parents. One thing I can tell you about her is she always had my back, and if she was your friend, she always had your back too. I can hear her saying now, when I was young, Rob, if that boy does something, one more thing to you, I'm going over there and I'm going to whip his mom and his dad's butt. She would say stuff like that. She never did, though. Never had to. but she always had my back, and I'm gonna miss that. Really. She was a great mother. She took care of my brother Richie the whole time he was alive for almost 24 years. She took care of him 24/7 basically, and took care of me and Dickie and friends and stuff. So she's just a wonderful lady. Some of the most recent memories I remember of her is playing cards out here in the shop, Rob's Blue Corner. I think it's a very unique situation to have your mother, your father, and your stepfather all in the same room, and your wife and friends and whatever playing poker together. We had so many good times out here. I'm really gonna miss seeing her over here and just the good time, the laughter that we had. And she was a heck of a card player. I remember one of the funniest times out here. Johnny Rogers Jr., who is another friend of mine from way back in high school, junior high and high school. The two of them, it came down, this poker hand came down to being between the two of them. And I never will forget, my mother had this, you know what, grin on her face, because she just knew she was about to win this poker hand. If I'm not mistaken, I think she had four of a kind. I mean, it was 4 kings, 4 aces, I don't remember. But she had 4 of a kind. And Johnny kept betting her up, and she kept betting him, and I think they may have even gone all in. Anyway, she told Johnny, she said, "Johnny, you better put your big boy panties on, son." And he just looked at her, and he kind of had one of those, you know what, grins on his face too. Well, when the dust settled and they laid their cards down, I think Johnny had a straight flush, which beat her 4 of a kind, and it was so funny. So the laughter that we used to have in here, those poker games, really gonna miss that. You know, another thing about Mother was she would always listen to good music. She and Larry and Dickie, all 3 of them, listen to really good music. And people say all the time at my job, they think might have some black in me somewhere because of my soul music that I listen to. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm into R&B from the 60s and 70s. And I can pretty much tell you just about anything you want to know. If you need to know who did this song and what year, I can pretty much tell you. I owe a lot of that to her, because she always listened to really good music like that. The Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire, Al Green, Sly and the Family Stone. As a matter of fact, the first record I ever remember playing when I was a little boy was Archie Bell and the Drills, Tighten Up, and that was her record. And then I also remember playing Sly and the Family Stone. We're talking probably 1972, 1973. And I wouldn't take nothing for that. So thank you, Mother. My mother's hobbies, as everybody knows, was she loved to go to the dog track and play the machine. She loved to go to Tunica. That was her pastime. That was her solitude and what she liked to do, and she sure enjoyed it. She loved to play video poker and the penny machines and do all that. That was definitely something she enjoyed, and everybody knows that she loved doing that. Here recently, she hasn't been getting around too good. Probably the past 6 months to a year, she finally got her a little 3-wheel scooter that she and Dickie bought a couple of months ago, and she was so proud of that thing. Recently, I heard stories about her riding around at Southland on that, and people complimenting her on her and asking her where she got it, and they want to ride on it and all that. But Anyway, she was so proud of that. She's a very strong woman. Um, just tough as nails. She hung on as long as she could, I feel like. She started really having respiratory problems 2 years ago, back in 2014, and we almost lost her then. But she did the best she could to hang on a little longer. So I'm glad she did. Well, that's not all. That doesn't sum up all of Penny Stroud's life, but it's the best I could do in a short period of time. I appreciate you always having my back. You know how much I love you. Little Richie, Dickie, and I hit the jackpot with you. Life was the best it could be because you were always there, and it'll never be the same without you. But we'll carry on and think of you every day with a big smile. Love and miss you already, and I will see you on the other side. Godspeed, Mom.
Bye.
I don't care if it rains or freezes, as long as I got my plastic Jesus sitting on the dashboard of my car. Comes in colors pink and pleasant, glows in the dark 'cause it's iridescent. Take it with you when you travel far. Get yourself a sweet Madonna dressed in rhinestone satin on pedestal of abalone shell. Going 90, I ain't scary, 'cause I got the Virgin Mary assuring me that I won't go to hell. Get yourself a sweet Madonna dressed in rhinestone satin on pedestal of abalone shell. Going 90, I ain't scary, 'cause I got the Virgin Mary assuring me that I won't go